Anyway, here we are, and guess what? Even though it's St. Patrick's Day, we're thinking about school. School, what does that conjure up in your mind? For some of us are going, oh, thank God I'm out of it. And others are saying, yeah, school's great, school's great. And of course, many of us talk about life itself as being a school, the school of life. And some of us talk about the game of life and how to play it, the school of life and what we learn in it, and so on. We all have our own little ideas about, and big ideas too, about what life is to us. But that's a very common metaphor for life, a school, the school of life. Unfortunately, too many of us think of school of life as being the school of hard knocks. I hear that a lot of the time. It's not a good way to be thinking about life, or school for that matter, as a school of hard knocks. And it doesn't matter what's gone behind us, we can have a new perception and a new idea and a new concept of what everything is, what every single thing is. However, there is a sense in which we are in school, because what is school about? It's about education, it's about learning, it's about advancement, it's about growing and wisdom and knowledge and becoming competent to go out there and live our lives in the big wide world. That's what school is about. And there are schools, and some schools are better than other schools. But all of us are in this one together. All of us are in this one together. And I'm reminded of a story of a young woman, a young executive, who got a huge promotion very soon in life. She worked for a big, successful company, advertising company, and she was kind of awestruck by it. She knew she had the ability, she knew she had the capability, she knew she was equal to the responsibility, but still a little stunned that had come to her so quickly and so early. And being the consummate professional that she was, she thought she'd go and see the chairman of the board and get his advice. And so she made the appointment, went to see him, knocked on the door, went in, and she thanked him and appreciated the honor that was given to her, and assured him that she would do everything she could to work for the good of the company, promote the company, extend the company, and so on. And the position that she was given at such a young age was to be the president of the company, which is kind of awesome. And she knew that all the presidents before her were much older and much, much more experienced when they got the job. So she just said she had come to ask advice. But before she had even said, I've come to ask, the response was, right decisions. Right decisions? Well, right decisions, said, right decisions are very, very important, but I wonder if you could just elaborate a little bit more on the experience leading up to right decisions. And immediately he smiled and he just said, experience. And she said, well, yeah, experience is very, very important. I know that in my own life. But I wonder if you could just add a little bit more with regard to how you arrive at this experience and the best possible experiences we could have, And he got up from his desk, he walked over, and then he looked at her squarely in the eye and he said, I can answer that question for you in 2 words. Wrong decisions. So she'd prepped herself to go in there for at least an hour's conference with this man to discuss various and sundry things with regard to herself, the growth of the business, and how to grow an experience, and so on. And he had summed it all up with 5 words. Right decisions, experience, wrong decisions. That was it. So that's what she went away to ponder and contemplate and think about. And in school, we know all about making right decisions, wrong decisions, and the experience both bring. And so it's very, very important that you and I understand and acknowledge and honor the experiences that we've had in our lives, because experience is the seminal dean of the school of life. Greater than any dean of any college or any principal of any school is this thing called life's experience. And from life's experience, we do learn the quickest way, and the more full way of learning is through life's experiences. And those experiences are up and down, they're in and out, they're good, they're bad, they're successful, they're failures. There's a whole amalgam of kinds of experiences in there. But through learning what we could learn from the experience, we can mature, we can become wiser, more knowledgeable, and more skilled at living our lives successfully when we learn from experience. When we learn from experience. Churchill said that you can tell a person's character from the choices and the decisions they make, but most especially from the choices and the decisions they make in times of stress, under fire. That's when we can tell, really, a person's character, how they do under fire, when their back is up against the wall and so on. The choices then that they make, the decisions then that they make. And it's very, very true. And you know that in yourself. I mean, some of us go to pieces when we have something awesome happen to us and a decision and, a choice has to be made. Oh, no, I can't decide. I can't make that decision. I can't make that decision. And it's like, we've gone to jelly. It's like we've gone straight into victimhood, helplessness and hopelessness. I can't do this. This is too big a decision. How many times have you heard people say that, and how many times have you said it yourself, you see? And yet, the decision will be made, because not to decide is a decision. Not to choose is a choice, and we have to understand that. So it's very important that we understand the correlation between decision-making, choice-making, and the experiences we have in our lives, because the decisions and the choices I'm making today are going to produce the experiences I'm going to have tomorrow. The two are interrelated, very much so. And so there are all kinds of lessons that you and I learn as we move through this thing called life. But now, this school is like no other school that you could ever find on this plane. In this school, you're given your tests first, and then you learn your lessons. You get the tests first, and then you learn your lessons. In this school, nobody's forcing you to do anything. Nobody's monitoring you. Nobody's telling you whether you're doing right or wrong, good, bad, or in between. Nobody. Nobody's grading you. You do all that yourself. You do all that. It's self-monitoring, self-grading, self-motivating, self-choosing in the big school of life. There's no push from anything or anyone except from within yourself. So you're free to learn or not to learn. You're free to take classes or not to take classes. It's up to you. But I'll tell you this much about the game of life and the school we're living in. Sooner or later, every single one of us will learn all our lessons. Sooner or later. And if I'm not open to learning a lesson that I have been presented with, it's going to show up in some shape, way, make, form over and over and over and over again until I learn the lesson. No push, no hurry, no fuss, no rush. But it's going to turn up until I do learn that lesson. And there is no graduating until the lesson is learned. I'm not going on to the next level until I learn that lesson. Unlike school, after they've kept you back, for however long, and now you're 36 years of age, and it's time to shove her out of the classroom because we can't stand another year of her, we'll let her move on. No, life doesn't do that. Life doesn't do that. You stay there until you learn the lesson and you move on. No ifs, ands, doubts, and buts about that. That's what we have to do. So how is it that you and I can move through this life and learn wisely and well, in grace and ease and peace and joy? How can we do that? Is there a way to do that? Of course there is. I'm no longer interested in learning my lessons the very hardest possible way. I've done that before, and it's not the best way to learn your lessons, really. There's no fun in all of that. There's no joy in all of that. And it doesn't make you feel good. But I can learn another way. I know that now. And I know too that life is on my side, life is supporting me, and life wants me to succeed. Now, if you ask any of the great inventors, they will tell you that the way you learn in life is through trial and error, through making mistakes. And you can only learn if you have the freedom to make mistakes. I must have the freedom to make mistakes so that I can learn by my mistakes. It's the quickest way to learn, the best way to learn, and the easiest way to learn in the end. And every inventor will tell you that all of the failures are as much a part of the process of learning as the achievements and successes are. They are just as vital to the process of learning, those mistakes and those failures, as the getting it right and the success is. So you have to understand that within yourself. Mistakes will be made, but learn as a consequence of them. And don't let the mistakes bury you. And don't let the mistakes tell you that you are a failure. Now, what stops us and what blocks us from growing, expanding, and going forward and becoming wiser and more knowledgeable and more self-aware and more sovereign in ourselves are all of the labels we have accepted since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. All those labels that either we received from the outside world, and most of them are from the outside world, and all the ones we slapped on ourselves as well. You may have been in kindergarten, and the teacher, you may have overheard a teacher saying she's a bit slow, she's a slow learner. And then you decided in kindergarten that you were slow and that you were a slow learner, and that was it for you. Forget that. You're going to be a C student for the rest of your life. A C student for the rest of your life. Let me tell you this in case you don't know it. There is no such thing as a C student, a D student, or an A student. No such thing. That's a whole false concept. That's a label somebody has accepted for themselves. No such thing. I decide whether I'm going to be a D or an A, and nobody else does. No one else decides whether I'm going to be an A or a D. And let me tell you, if I ever got a D, and I never did, thank God, and I say thank God only because of the kind of education I was growing up in. I really didn't want to be slapped. I made up my mind I'm not going to get D's or C's or anything I'm not capable of getting because I don't want to be slapped. Slapping motivated me, or the thought of it, But if I did get a D, I would know I deserved the D. I earned the D because I put a D's amount of effort into whatever it was I was asked to do. No such thing as an A concept or a D concept. There's only my response to whatever challenge comes my way, and I can give it a D effort, or I can give it an A plus effort, or I can give it off the Richter scale A plus effort, if I so desire. Or I can lie down under it and get D minus for it, or a great big F. Or I could get Gahulk or Godana written on my work, which means dreadful, horrible, awful in Irish. Oh, Gahulk. Godana. Bad, that bad man. And so it's up to me, and I know that now. I didn't know it when I was back in school. I just had thinking, slapping in my head. I told to be slapped, and so I worked. But now I know it's all perception, and what I think about myself and what I feel about myself produces what I experience in my life and living, and nothing else. So, what is it we're going to decide now about the school of life and how I am in it. How am I going to proceed from here? I like to think of the school of life as Hogwarts without all the nonsense, without all the black stuff, without all of the naughtiness and all of the dreadful stuff. Magical, mystical, wonderful. A place where any good thing can happen. Any good thing. If I go in here, dive in here, I'm diving in, dive in here, and pull up that great intuitive intelligence that is within me that holds the key to every single thing that has the solution to any challenge or problem or obstacle that might arise in my life. It's within me here to draw that up and out so that I can handle it all with grace, with ease, in peace, and in joy when I'm under fire, especially when I'm under fire. I can say, like Paul, this does not move me. This does not move me. This will not take me out of that center core of my being that I know is capable of handling anything, because E equals what? What does E equal? Good! Some of us went to school and listened. Energy equals matter. Energy is interchangeable with matter and is equal to it. That's what quantum physics tells us. So what does that mean? It means that matter is energy at a much lower vibrational spin in a denser form. So consequently, energy has power over matter. Energy has the power over matter because energy created the matter. That which creates has the power over what is created. I could say that to you metaphysically like this. Spirit equals form. And form is spirit at a lower vibrational spin, a denser form of spirit. Therefore, spirit has power and control over form. What does that all mean to you and to me? Well, this is what it means. I am spirit and I am form. I am energy and I am matter. So the energy and the spirit within me has power over the matter, over the form. Wow. That means I can control anything in my life once I align myself with the true nature of my being, my true essence, the spirit of me, the pure energy of me. And then, once energy speaks to matter, matter must obey. Once spirit speaks to form, form must obey. Oh my goodness! OMG. Did you know that? Yes, you did. But guess what? You did nothing with what you knew. And that's why you have all these conditions and circumstances and situations in your life that you don't like. Because you're not working with what you know. You're not applying what you know. You don't use what you know. You don't trust what you know. You don't have deep faith in what you know. And that's why you and I have to move through an obstacle race sometimes. Because we are living at a level of superficiality, and by that I mean we're living at the level of the material world, the sense world. We're taking all our cues from what we're seeing, perceiving out there, from the sense world, the material world. We're identifying with the bodily, the material aspect of ourselves, and we're forgetting all about the energy, the pure energy and the spirit of ourselves. We're leaving that aside. It makes no sense at all. See, we're missing out. Energy, when it speaks to matter, matter must obey. Spirit, when it speaks to form, form must obey. Say it with me. Energy, when it speaks to matter, matter must obey. Spirit, when it speaks to form, form must obey. Amen and hallelujah. That's the only thing you have to learn in the school of life. There's nothing else to learn. Once you have learned that, you have access to all the wisdom of the ages, all of the cosmic wisdom too. That's your inheritance. That's who you are. That's what you are. And that's whose you are. And when you know who you are, what you are, and whose you are, life is a bowl of cherries. There is no ifs, ands, buts, and doubts about it. Now let me tell you, every single day, when we come to the end of the day, if you and I can't look over the day and say, today I learned something, you and I are not doing anything like our best, not even close. Every single day is given to you and to me to wake up a little more fully and remember something that we knew way back when, in the former days before the world was made, and the glory of it all. So we are recovering. That's what learning something new means. I'm recovering what I already know. I am revealing what is already within me to reveal. How is that now for a St. Patrick's Day Sunday? That's the blessing of St. Patrick today. That you get to know the truth of who you are and you leave those labels behind you. And the next time somebody comes up to you with a label, don't say, oh, I think there's a little spot left here, you could slap that on. You say, no, I don't think so. That is not me. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know whose I am. And it has nothing to do with that. Nothing. And then, my dear ones, all of us can start synergizing, wakening up, healing, mending, fixing, anything that seems to require it in our lives, and then we are ready to be a force to be reckoned with in this world, and we will become the way shores like all the great ones, and we will be the lights that will wash away the darkness and help to bring this world into what it was meant to be, a world of serenity. How about that? How about that for a lesson to be learned, recovered, retrieved, and revealed? And you are the ones that can do this. That's why you're sitting in these seats. That's why you showed up here today. You are the ones. So, make up your mind today what kind of a school you're in and how you are applying the principles that you're learning in that school. And get excited about it, get delighted about it. And the only way you're going to do that is to connect every moment you possibly can remember to connect with the source of your being, with the creator of your life, the giver of your life to you, the lover of your soul. That's the way you do it. You stay in constant connection, because on your own it's bupkis. Bupkis happens on your own. And when you think it's up to me, forget about it. It's you aligned with the spirit of you, the truth of you, the pure energy of you that is unstoppable and finds nothing is impossible. Are we ready for this now? Yes. Do you think we're ready to learn this lesson? Yes. Do you think we can graduate this moment now into a greater, deeper, higher, wider sense of life and living? Yes. Well, my dear ones, remember that the lesson is learned here and now, not over there and then. Over there and then may look all more exciting and inviting. It's not. We learned the lesson here, now, present, this moment. So I'm knowing for each and every one of us we got it. I'm knowing for each and every one of us we're getting out there, and our homework is easy homework. Just be who we are. And I'm knowing that that's what each one of us is going to do right here, right now. Let me have a yes to it. Yes. And so it is.